Ceci est l'histoire d'un homme marqué par une image d'enfance.
This is a story about a man's cyclical, repetitive search for an identity, or an image from his childhood which leaves an indelible trace on him. From the moment he and the woman depart at Orly Airport, they've been separated forever.
Once again on the main pier at Orly, in the middle of this hot pre-war Sunday afternoon where he was now able to settle down, he thought in a confused way that the child he had been was due to be there too, watching the planes. But first of all, he looked for a woman's face at the end of the pier. He ran towards her, and when he recognized the man who had trailed him since the camp, he knew there was no way out of time. And he knew that this haunted moment he had been granted to see as a child was the moment of his own death.
And when he finally arrives at the airport again, after many years, and thinks that the woman he sees now must have been the woman in his vague childhood memory, he loses her once again facing his own death. The maternal figure is ultimately an unreachable one trapped only in memory and unconsciousness. Precisely, I was thinking about the moment when my mom slapped me in the face and threw my favorite Pokemon guy from the 14th floor balcony. I can't remember the details, but I remember rushing down the stairs, walking into the yard, and searching all over the place. I finally found the book among the woods, tinted by dirt, and held like my little baby. An indelible trace, a mark that keeps revolving yet at the same time being suppressed, and is now probably lying in one hideous corner within my heart. I choose not to remember it.
Tu n'as rien vu à Hiroshima, rien.
J'ai tout vu, tout.
The urgency of the memory ready to rush out counters one's superego, and is thus left in a mediating state. Our ego, a dialectical opposition which exemplifies the everyday life, consciousness, and existence itself. She claims how much she loves me, but it takes only a second to deconstruct, like the A-bomb which deforms the man's forehead in a picture in Hiroshima Mon Amour. That bruised passion haunts me, yet sometimes becomes a yearning for a sublime destruction which I know would devour me. Just as Tanizaki transformed his childhood memories into his lifelong pursuit of sadomasochism, a seemingly trivial childhood mark becomes the pivot of one's desire and life. This is love. I once dreamed of my father's death. In the dream, there is a revolver in my hand, the same one as in André Breton's Surrealism Manifesto. Every act is a cerebral revolver shot. I was in a quite fierce quarrel with him, and I knew that he was the one carrying the gun initially. I forgot how I grabbed the gun from him, but the next conscious moment I knew, I was already starting to repeat the sentence. As if a magic spell cursing his death, I shot him, and I walked to my grandmother so that I can propose to my mom. It's not the first time that I dreamed of my father's death. 3 times actually. I woke up, frightened, embarrassed, confused. I took out my phone and then witnessed the ascension to throne of probably one of the most powerful modern leaders ever, Xi Jinping. The termination of term limits. There is no coincidence. I knew it. It is as if the dream pronounces a new era, An authoritarian capitalism where the authority figure and capitalistic market can be combined together. Which one is the meta-narrative? Is it the demanding authority which takes control over your everyday life, or the capitalistic machinery that drags everyone in? Or both? Where is our future heading?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Advertising Hall of Fame.
Your move, Tiger.
Thanks, Sonny. Special for the Enco Tiger. They want me back. Enco wants me back.
Wow, we'll be able to put a tiger back in our tanks.
Sounds like a grade A job.
The Esso Tiger has gone. The symbol, now replaced by a Playmobil sign, has lost its aura, in Walter Benjamin's term. Almost 55 years has passed since Jean-Luc Godard turned the Esso Tiger into a cinematic symbol of capitalism. Put a tiger in your tank, as our mama took one last glance at the Esso Tiger, which is still smiling despite the side flipped. She's finally come to her own way of resisting. I'm now standing in front of the mobile sign, contemplating the glorious cinematic rebellion of the past. Or is there really a rebellion? Time and space of the past is now irretrievably lost, just like the town of cats. It is as if we are thrown to a mysterious town of cats and there is simply no way back. It's so interesting how both Haruki Murakami and Chris Marker are so obsessed with cats. Whether it is a town of cats, or a game of cats, or a Maneki Neko waving his hand in a shrine, cats are always enigmatic yet dangerously intriguing. Murakami wrote, "The sun begins to sink. It is time for the cats to come." The young man knows that he is irretrievably lost. This is no town of cats, he finally realizes. It is the place where he is meant to be lost. It is another world which has been prepared especially for him. And never again, for all eternity, will the train stop at this station to take him back to the world he came from. And here comes the train to our ultimate dream. There's a Chinese poet who wrote, "My favorite place is the airport. Travel is a lifestyle. For a traveler, his life is always drifting between departure and arrival. It doesn't really matter where you are going. What really matters an attitude of embracing uncertainties, of always holding on to yourself, even when you're drifting." I was quite inspired when I was first reading it in Boston Logan 2 years ago, right before my departure back home. I've since then been to so many countries, cities, airports, subways, and trains. There's always one place where I find similarities: the train. It is as if the subway ticket is an admission to a dream, and the train a collectively unconscious dream where we are all sinking deeply into our memories, secrets, and fears. It is only through time and silence that the real of desires lay bare, and I appreciate the one who dared to break the silence. When I heard that man playing the accordion in the train, it somehow makes me feel that there is a part of my inner desires that has been exposed through his music. Of course, no one gave him money after he played, and even him has fallen into the silence, looking out of the window. Which one is the reality? Is it the train carrying millions and millions of dream and unconsciousness, or the thin slice of view we see from the window in the train? Is it the land that I've been inhabited for 18 years, or the land in which I am now speaking my words? The Charles River, or the Mediterranean Sea? The Yangtze River, or the Mystic Lake. I don't know. I want to conclude with my favorite line from Sans Soleil by Chris Marker. The train inhabited by sleeping people puts together all the fragments of a dream, makes a single film of them, the ultimate film. The tickets from the automatic dispenser grant admission to the show. More and more my dreams find their settings in the department stores of Tokyo, the subterranean tunnels that extend them and run parallel to the city. A face appears, disappears, a trace is found, is lost. All the folklore of dreams is so much in its place that the next day, when I'm awake, I realize that I continue to seek in the basement labyrinth the presence concealed the night before. I begin to wonder if those dreams are really mine, or if they're part of a totality, of a gigantic collective dream of which the entire city might be the projection. It's a one-way ticket to the town of cats, to a childhood dream, to the glorious freedom we all once possessed, freed from language, the real self.
Chapitre 8.
Une saison en enfer.
L'amour est à réinventer.
La vraie vie est ailleurs. Des siècles et des siècles s'enfuirent dans le lointain, comme des orages.
Je la tins contre moi, et je me mis à pleurer.
C'était le premier. C'était le seul rêve.